Okay. And we are live in the group. Hello, hello, everyone. Let me just get to where I can see all the comments in all the places. And we will give it just a few minutes. Brynn, I'm always late to everything. I was on time today. I'm doing better actually, but I'm always late. So I always like to give about 5 minutes of grace to all the latecomers because I am a person who's been late for everything my whole entire life.
I love it. I love it. Hi, guys.
Hey, everyone. Say hi as you're hopping on and let us know where in the world you are calling in from. I know that we have people all over the world in this group, actually, Brynn. So we have our soon to be incredible Australian New Zealand team who is rapidly growing. And then we've got a whole bunch of people in Europe that are eagerly awaiting Europe opening, but there's a lot of people from all over the world in this group. So everybody let us know where we're calling in from. And I do just want to take a moment because Sister Vicky popped on the Zoom and she just enrolled yesterday and she's already enrolled 2 customers. So congratulations. Way to like hit the ground running. I'm so excited to have you join us and I'm so excited for your amazing success that you've experienced already. And what else did I want to say? Oh, so in the group, in the featured section of the group, there is a Zoom link. If you prefer to join us on Zoom, you can feel free to do that. Otherwise, you can continue to watch streaming in the group. And I've got the chat open in both places. So if you have questions for Brynn at any point, as we're moving through this today, you can drop them there and I'll make sure to share those on with her. We've got Sunny Coast, Key West, Florida. Wow.
I'm in Florida right now. I'm in Destin. Woo!
All right, all the Florida then.
We love Florida around here.
Yeah. All right, we're about 5 minutes after, so I think that we will kick off. So welcome to another day in Not Your Mama's MLM, the new era of network marketing. Wow, first of all, I just want to say that this event so far has been so much more than I actually anticipated or expected it to be. I've been just completely blown away by the session with Barb, the session with Marina last night. You know, I think it's pretty much impossible to not be around these leaders and not feel the magic that Marina was talking about on the call last night and the level of alignment and the excitement about something new and something different and, you know, something that's just really beautifully organic. Hold on one second.
Gotta love real life, man.
Just trying to quiet the 9-year-old in the background. Real life. That's how we do it, right? So anyway, I'm so excited to have Brynn here this morning. Brynn and I have just recently met, didn't know each other before. I didn't know of Brynn before. And I have to just say, the leadership that comes from this duo of you and Marina is like, it's blown me away. And the culture that you're creating inside your team spaces and the way that you celebrate each and every person for every win. I've never experienced anything like this. And so, you know, I'm so incredibly honored to be a part of a team where it's not fake. It's literally everyone matters. And I was saying last night on the call, like I've taken to just saying to people when they're asking me about this opportunity that I'm like, it's all heart, no hype. And I feel like the authenticity of this group of people is just unparalleled right now in the industry. So I'm so excited to hear more about your story. Of course, Marina has told me like all of these amazing, amazing things about you. But I'm excited to hear more about your story. I know that you, for you, work-life balance and prioritizing your family is incredibly important. And I shared in the kickoff call, I don't know if you've had a chance to watch it or not, but I shared a little bit about my experience in network marketing and how, you know, a combination of my coaching business and network marketing, I really ran myself into the ground and destroyed my health. And it's taken, you know, a couple of years of a lot of work to come back from what I did to myself. Burning the candle at both ends, Zoom calls at all hours of the night, you know, just working myself into the ground. And one of the other things that I realized was that I had put my family last. Yeah. In my mind, I was putting my family first because I was working to make money to provide the life that I thought that they wanted to live, but I wasn't present. And I wasn't spending quality time with my children. I was working 14, 16 hours a day. And yes, you know, from the outside, everything appeared beautiful. We lived in a multi-million-dollar mansion on the beach in Bali, like living the dream life, right? And from the outside, I'm sure everyone was like, wow, like she's got it all figured out. It's amazing. But I was miserable and all I was doing was working. And so I'm really excited to hear your story and to learn from you, because this is something that I honestly am still navigating. I'm a worker. So I will work, and I love to work. So it's actually something that's quite difficult for me to learn how to balance that. And yeah, so I'm just incredibly honored that you said yes to being here in this event. I'm so excited to hear your story. I'm so excited to learn from you. Yeah, so I'd love for you to just introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about your history in the industry and how you got here. I would love to just actually hear from you as well, why you decided to completely start from scratch with this incredible company, and then just whatever you want to share about how you do business, because clearly you're rocking it. And the other thing I just have to say is I love following your social media. I feel like I'm a pretty unapologetic person, but all of a sudden I feel like I've gotten dropped into the deep end of the most unapologetic people on the internet. Like you, Stephanie Marina, you make me look like I'm singing in a church choir. And I'm like, wow, I'm really being pushed into okay, what's more of you? What's more of you? So thank you for that. It's triggering me and challenging me, but I love your social media. I love following your posts. Super inspirational and hilarious and funny and relatable. And so that's all I have to say. I'm going to shut up now and let you take it away.
You're amazing. You guys, seriously, do you see what you have in your court behind your back over here? This woman is insane, amazing. And y'all just need to drop her a bunch of fire emojis all up in the comments, because she is fire. That's what you are. You're straight fire. And I am so humbled and honored to get to work with you and your amazing humans that you are bringing in here, and just honored that you asked me to share here and share my heart. And yeah, so this is what I do. I call it lang banging. I am going to lang bang y'all tonight because Brynn Lange in the house. Okay. So a little bit about me. I actually got started in the network marketing industry back in 2014. I was very skeptical. I actually thought it was a bunch of BS. I mean, I think a lot of us start that way, right? But I had hit a point in my life where, if nothing changes, nothing changes. And so at the time I was a personal trainer and I was working pretty much 5 a.m. until 8 o'clock at night. My husband owned a restaurant. Anybody tells you that when you own your own business like that you have freedom and you make all the money, that is not the way it was working. We were poor. Okay. We were super poor. And there was really no ability for us to make a whole lot of extra money doing what I was doing. And so I remember my friend walked into my boot camp and he goes, "Brynn Lange, dude, I just bought socks without checking my bank account." And I was like, "Huh, I got to check my bank account to do everything, man. How did you do it?" And so he started telling me about it. And I'm like, you know what? Let's rock and roll. Literally, you guys. And you'll understand this if you have kids. The week before, I was standing in Target staring at a pair of shoes for my kid and asking myself if I could make his shoes stretch one more week, because I couldn't afford his shoes. And so I jumped in, and I'll be 100 with y'all because that's how I roll. I'm not a fluffer. Okay. I sucked. Like I sucked. Okay. But here's the key to it all, guys. You just got to suck until you suck less, right? As long as you don't quit and you keep plugging in and you keep doing the things, you keep allowing yourself to fall flat on your face and getting back up and keep going, you're going to get better, right? And so very quickly, I caught this vision of what I wanted for my life and for my family's life. And I'm like, man, I love helping people. I love personal training, but I hate the hours. Like, what if I could really take this and really change my family's life? And so I went all in, man. I learned everything that I could learn. I did everything my leaders told me to do. Like I was constantly on the phone. I was on Zooms and three-way calls all day long. I was in people's homes in the evening and on the weekends and constantly traveling. And I built to a six-figure income within the first year. But by 4 years, I was so burnout. I was so burnt out. I like literally, I would wake up every day and I was miserable, but I was a worker and I still wanted what I wanted for my family, right? And everything came crashing down for me one day when my kid was home from summer and I was on my, I don't know, 15th three-way call of the day. And my kid kept trying to show me this picture that he was drawing. And let's just be 100, when you're trying to do something and your kid's like, mom, mommy. And I'm like, and I turned around and I looked at him and I said, River, stop bothering me. Your mommy's working. And y'all, my kid fell on the floor, bawling, crying. And he looked up at me and he said, you don't even love me anymore. You're always working. You're always on your phone and you never pay attention to me. And that was the biggest gut punch I've ever experienced in my entire life. And so I picked my kid up off the floor and I went and I cuddled him and I called my husband. I'm like, I'm done. I cannot do this anymore. I'm never, ever doing it. I need a regular job where I can go to work and I can come home and I can cut it off. And my husband looked at me as an entrepreneur and he said, you're not going to do that. You cannot hold down a job. You don't want anybody telling you what time you got to be somewhere, how long you got to be there for, how much money you can make. I was like, oh yeah, that's right. And so in that moment, I realized that there were some things that I really needed to change and I needed to learn how to do, because that's what we do. We suck until we suck less, right? Well, I sucked at balance. So I had to learn. And so it became my mission from that point on to learn how to get really intentional, really organized, learn how to outsource, learn how to delegate, learn how to automate the things that I could automate. And so over the next year, while learning how to balance, I actually built to 7 figures for my first year. And then I launched my coaching business where I started teaching people how to do these things. And so I ended up building that specific business for the last 6 years, earned multi millions in a year's time, and did it all while balancing. And so before I get into what I did to start creating a lot of balance in my life and my business and still being able to create an insane amount of income, right? Because drop money bags in the comment box if you want to make some money, but you don't want to do it sacrificing your family. Anyone? Because I know that that is exactly what I wanted and it's what I created. Now, before I get into that, I'm going to share with you how I ended up here. So I'm sure you guys want to know that, right? And so I know you guys heard from the beautiful Marina. You've heard from Barb already. Marina is my business partner. She is my best friend. And we, over the last year and a half, just started to feel like what we were doing just wasn't mattering, if that makes sense. I was waking up every day and honestly, just miserable. I was in the weight loss world. And I was tired of talking about weight loss. It was very, very hard on me mentally. And so, Marina and I, we started talking and she ended up getting hired to brand this amazing company. How beautiful, by the way, how beautiful. And so as she is like doing all these, we talk about everything. Like when you have a bestie, like you're on the phone 17 times a day, back and forth, you're texting, like we talk about everything. So she's talking about the name of the company, and I had met Barb and Dave already because we were in a mastermind with them, and I absolutely loved them. I loved how genuine they were and how much they truly loved people. But I didn't know a whole lot more than that. And so as Marina starts branding the company, she's talking about the name, she's showing me the branding, right? Like she's talking about these incredible products. And I'm like, that sounds amazing. I love it. It's sexy. It's fun. She started sharing with me the mission that Barb and Dave have with their daughter and with addiction and helping people feel better. And I'm like, man, like all of this is just speaking to my soul. And so Marina and I ended up at an event back in October, and we had to plan this whole thing ourselves. There were no decorations. There was not like we had the incredibly amazing Shalene Johnson coming to our event, and we were super stressed out. And Barb had just actually sent her the products to try. She's like, do you want to try these things with me? And I'm like, okay, why not? Let's just go ahead and try it. And so we drink our little mushroom drink. We add the source in, and you guys, within 30 minutes, we are like skipping down the aisles of Party City, like giggling. We have this whole event that we're trying to put together, and we were just like light and happy. And it was just like, what even is this stuff? Like, I mean, are we sure this is legal? And so we did the event. We came back. We decided to get on a phone call with Barb, and we heard her heart and what she really wanted for this company and who she wanted to help. And you guys, in January, I turned 41, and I woke up on my 41st birthday, and I looked around my home, and I realized that I was tired of doing anything in my life ever again that I didn't 100% believe in, that didn't wake me out of bed in the morning with a fire of wanting to talk to people, to help people, to show them what we had. And I did not feel that where I was. And I had been fighting it for a really long time. And so I called Marina, and I'm like, happy birthday to me. We need to do this. And so we ended up going all in. It was one of the best decisions that we've ever made. I've been so happy. Every day I wake up and I'm so excited just to see people like you, see your faces. I get these amazing messages in my inbox every single day because people are so excited about the way they're feeling, and they're so excited. It's so amazing. We have so many people coming into this team that have never done network marketing, or they've never had any success in network marketing, and they're getting their first customers and they're getting their first affiliates. And it's just like, it has been so refreshing for my soul. So that's how I ended up here. I'm so excited about it. But now I want to share with you guys a little bit about how you can create balance in your life and your business, and how we lead as leaders, and what you can expect from us if you do decide to be a part of this. Because what I will always tell you is your family comes first. Your family always comes first. Okay. And so back when I first made the decision that I really wanted to learn how to get balanced, and I wanted to do network marketing because I believe in network marketing. I love network marketing, right? But I was no longer ever going to ever make my kid feel like that. And after having conversations with my husband, I realized that my husband was also feeling neglected, right? And so the first thing that I needed to do was I needed to figure out what were the most important things to me. Okay. And so I encourage you to do some of these exercises that I'm going to give you guys. And the first thing I sat down and I really meditated on what are the most important things in my life. And I wrote down 4 things. And that was my faith, my family, my health, and my business. Now, how many of you have trouble saying no? Us as women, right? Like I swear our default setting is guilt. Anybody else? Like we feel guilty when we're working our business because we're not giving our family enough time. We feel guilty when we're not working our business because we're paying attention to our family. And so we constantly feel this guilt, but then we also don't know how to freaking say no. We don't know how to say no to things. And so when I sat down and I wrote down the things that mattered to me most, it allowed me to start learning how to say no to everything that didn't fit into those 4 categories. And let's be honest, I'm an introvert. Okay. Nobody ever believes me, but like I get really, really drained. So like friendships in person are not the most important thing to me. Yet I felt this overwhelming guilt for not seeing my friends on a pretty average basis. And so I would never tell them no. And then I was behind in my business and I felt like I was not giving my family enough time. And I realized that my friends did not fit into those 4 things. And I had to have conversations with them to say, hey, look, we can get together once a month. I love you. I value you, but I can't hang out like every week anymore. I can't go to lunch multiple times a week. I don't have time for that anymore. Right. And so I started learning how to say no. And so the second thing I did is I had to realize, where was all of my time going? Because I was yesing myself to death. Right. I was also wasting an exorbitant amount of time doing things that didn't fit into those 4 areas. And so I challenge you. And this is what I did. I went 3 days and I wrote down every single thing that I did. I mean, I wrote down when I took a deuce. You know what I'm saying? Like I wrote down everything. Okay. And what that did is it gave me awareness. And if you don't have awareness of where your time is going, right, then how are you supposed to take control of your time? And so after the 3 days, I looked through all the things that I was doing every single day. And I started to realize all the time I was wasting. How many of you are social media scrollers? Okay, I am very active on social media. If you follow me, I post daily. I'm always in my stories. But when people ask me how much time I spend on social media a day, probably 30 minutes. That's about it. Because I'm very intentional with my time on social media. Whereas before, I would waste so much time scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. It's such a time sucker. I also realized that yes, my health was important, but did I really need to drive 30 minutes to the gym, warm up, work out for an hour, cool down, drive 30 minutes home, and then waste all that time out of my day? No, I bought weights and a TRX and got a yoga mat. And I put them in my bedroom. So I could walk in my bedroom, I could hammer it out, and I could walk back out. I started to just have these realizations of where I was wasting time, right? How many of you have kids? Okay. Here's what I want you to know. Okay. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to ask for help. So I was taking my kid to school. I was picking him up from school. Hello, car rider line for an hour every afternoon, right? I was taking him to Taekwondo. I was picking him up from Taekwondo, like all these things. And I started realizing there's a lot of other moms like me. There's also a bus. Oh my gosh. So I asked my kid, would you rather me take you to school or pick you up? I'd rather you take me to school. Do you want to ride the bus on the way home? Yeah, that would be fun. Okay, do you know how much time I saved myself by doing that? Then I started carpooling with some of the other moms when it came to Taekwondo, right? Would I ever miss any form of like a meet or something like that? No, but I didn't have to be at every practice. So I started to have all these realizations and I started to take control of my time. Okay. And then the next thing I did is I realized that I was not a very good communicator. How many of you have actually communicated with those who matter to you most? When I ask people this question, most of them go, oh. So I sat down with my husband and I asked him what he needs from me. I said, here's the deal. I'm trying to learn how to control my time so that I don't get burnt out and I can still create a fabulous income, but without sacrificing you guys. You know what my husband said? He said, I would just love to have like 20 minutes with you at the end of the day, just sitting on the porch and talking. We feed the birds and the Larrys. We call squirrels Larrys. I don't know if any of you ever watch, what's that show with the guys that they do Impractical Jokers? There was one episode, I think it was Sal, when he's trying to get the front of the line. He's like, Larry, and it worked. He got all the way to the front of that line. Anyways, we started calling squirrels Larrys. I digress. So we feed the Larrys and we feed the birds. That's what he wanted from me. 20 minutes. Was that a lot of time? No. So then I'm like, I need to ask my kid. So my kid is about to be 15. He does not want all of my time. Okay. But he told me, I just want you to be available to watch a movie or watch a show or just hang out and listen to music or talk in the evening. And I'm like, okay, I can do that. And so I started plugging these things into my calendar. How many of you have a calendar? I recommend Google Calendar. It goes with you everywhere. I'll be done in 1 minute, baby, and I'll take you outside. So I started plugging these things in. And what I did is I started getting intentional with my time, right? First, I would go through every Sunday, I sit down with my calendar and I would plug in my non-negotiables, the things I had to get done, dentist appointments, blah, 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 right? And then I plugged in the things that my family needed from me. I plugged in my time for my faith, which you guys, it's 10 minutes in the morning. I spend 10 minutes in the morning when I first wake up doing gratitude and surrender with the Lord, okay? Whatever that looks like for you. I plugged in 30 minutes a day for my workout. I had so much time to plug intentionally into my business, and I wasn't pushing anything else off. And so what happened was my income kept growing. My kid was happy. My husband was happy. My health was good. I felt right with the Lord, and things felt good. So here's the deal. It's all about intentional time, and it's quality over quantity. It's the same thing with your business. If you're going to sit down and you're going to work your business, don't multitask. Everything takes you 50% longer if you multitask. Set the time aside to spend working your business every single day. Set the time aside for your spouse. Set the time aside for your health. Set the time aside for your kids. I promise you, you can get it all done if you're very intentional with your time. And so when it comes to the way that we lead, and I want you guys to hear this because I think it's really, really important, okay? Number one, we will never, ever do a Zoom that's longer than 30 minutes. Not going to happen. None of us, nobody got time for that. And guess what? You're not going to be shamed if you decide that something else is more important to you on that particular day instead of being on the Zoom. You can always watch a replay if you want to, okay? We will never shame you for not showing up to an event. I remember a couple years ago, I was at an event and the girl on stage, it like broke my heart. She literally was standing on stage and she said, I am here because this is what you do. You come to events. Today is my kid's first day of high school. And he begged me not to come because he was so nervous and he just wanted his mom there. But I told him I had to be at the event because it's so important to be at events. And I wanted to take earplugs and plug every single person's ear in that room. Are events important? Yes. Should you go to events? Yes. But never, ever, ever, ever do something that is going to sacrifice what is most important to you, which is most likely your family. Okay. So you can be successful and have balance at the same time. And you can do it without feeling guilty. Because if you're intentional with your time and you make sure that you are giving the things that matter to you most, that intentional time, okay, you won't feel guilty anymore. All right. That's what I got.
Amazing. That was so good. Yeah, so many gems. I typed all your things in the chat in the Facebook group. So if you were watching the replay, just scroll back up through my comments and you can see the 3 things that for 3 homework assignments. And it's so powerful. I'm like sitting here as you were saying that and I'm like, wow, like I actually haven't sat down and asked my husband or my sons like what they want from me. And it's, I mean, you say it and it's like, you should know that. You should just know to do that. But yeah, that's probably my biggest takeaway from this. And I will be doing that this week. So thank you for that.
Hey, I'm glad.
Amazing. Anybody have any questions for Brynn before we let her get back to her family? She's on holiday right now, I think.
Actually, so we have a condo in Destin. I am here by myself with my dog. It's a girls' trip. 4 days at the beach, just me and her.
Nice.
I'm so excited.
Anyone? Oh, Jenna, you have a question? Go ahead.
I actually just wanted to add on. Hi, Brynn. Nice to meet you.
Hi. Nice to meet
And
you.
thank you for sharing actually your story. Really, it touched me because I've had very similar moments with my own kids and my own family with working so much. And just to add on to that strategy of the time and everything, what I've done is I've had a family meeting and said, look, like this is a team effort. I have to be busy. So this is your job to take care of these things so that I can do this, so that we can do this. And it's really changed the whole dynamic. My 14-year-old also doesn't really care to spend too much time with me, but in the last few years when he was a little bit younger and wanted to, it really helped oh, she's not just not hanging out with me, she's doing it for a reason. And to do the extra things around the house, to unload the dishwasher without being asked, and it all serves the same purpose. And it just put a team into our family, which was really reminded me of your story. Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Amazing. Any other questions for Brynn?
1 minute, baby.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Brynn. Powerful session. I'm so excited that everybody got a chance to meet you and feel your incredible energy. And yeah, so more goodness to come. We have Dr. Stephanie Rimka is going to be sharing. Angie Southers is going to be sharing. I've got a couple more sessions I'm going to do. But if you're feeling called to this incredible opportunity, make sure to go back to the person that invited you to the group to get their details. The team is rapidly growing. I was blown away by the growth and expansion just in the team yesterday. I can't say that I'm surprised after the incredible sessions from Barb and Marina. And I know that we'll have a whole nother influx of people coming in today after this awesome session with Brynn. If you have any questions for me at all, feel free to just send me a private message on any of the social media. And if you're ready to do the thing, to purchase your product, to rise and vibe with us, then go back to the person that referred you and get your link and order your product.
Thanks, guys.
Ciao, everyone.
Bye.